When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud too.
When you look at me, what do you see? The answer's nothing.
Something in you has to wake up. And usually the only person that can wake it up is you. Sometimes you can read a David Goggins book because I was all this shit and then a lot more of fucked up. But if you don't have a little flame, just barely, you're done. I can't light it for you. And that's the harsh reality of this life that I want to get across so fucking bad. You can watch me, you can watch you, you can watch fucking Rogan and Cameron Haynes, all these motherfuckers. You can go to Tony Robinson's fucking bullshit, all that shit. You do all that shit.
You want to know if you're talking about young men that might not have any direction right now? Go do something that's hard. Go try and accomplish something that's hard. You may win, you may lose, you may succeed, you may fail. I'll tell you what, you'll be better. If you avoid those things that are hard, if you don't accept that challenge, if you don't step up and step into that cold water.
What I didn't understand by being determined to chase something, by being committed to it, and what commitment is staying true to what you said you were going to do long after the mood that you have set it in has left. You see, people think commitment is saying, yes, I'll do it on the days when it feels good. But I have been committed to everything that I ever started in my life, and I never stopped and I never quit it. And so by being committed to everything that I started, I finished it. It built a certain type of spirit. It built a certain type of mentality. It built a certain type of individual. And so now I couldn't quit even if I wanted to. I couldn't lay in the bed even if I wanted to. I couldn't stop even if I wanted to. I had too much sweat equity in my life and everything that I was doing. I understood the process is more important than the product. It wasn't about the outcome for me. Whether I made it to the NFL or not, that was inconsequential in God's plan for my life. But I was going to fall in love with that process because I understood by falling in love with that process, it was going to turn me into a machine.
Don't stare at them. Listen to me. You don't get bumped by staring at weights. You don't get bumped by look, you don't get healthier by staring at it. You get healthier by running up to it and grabbing it and pushing it. Look, push through that stuff. Push through it. You can get through it. He said he won't put on you more than you can bear. You can get through it. So I need you to work while you wait. I need you to work. Look, work on your focus, perspective. I need you to see difficult differently. Are you hearing what I'm telling you?
So another year is come and gone. And a lot of us are in the same fucking place we were last year. What the fuck are you waiting on? We sleep 1/3 of our fucking lives. And we think we can take fucking days off. We think we have the right to sit back and give ourselves fucking options on which way we're gonna go in life. Am I gonna run today? Am I gonna work out today? Well, it's Christmas. It's New Year's. It's my birthday. Do you think time gives a fuck that it's Christmas, that it's New Year's, that it's your birthday? You give yourself too many fucking options. Let me tell you one thing. Time is running out. You keep on sitting around wondering what the fuck you want to do. You're just gonna run out of time. So make sure you do one thing. Stop following the fucking crowd. They may take time off, but you can't afford to. Stay hard.
And I will work to maintain that position.
So people always ask me, when they saw me in the gym in the pumping iron days, they say, why is it that you're working out so hard, 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day, and you have always a smile on your face? The others are working out just as hard as you do, and they look sour in the face. Why is that? And I told people all the time, I said, because to me, I'm shooting for a goal. In front of me is the Mr. Universe title.
You're going to have some traits. Now, I take things to the logical extreme and say, okay, well, Bezos has kids, Bill Gates has kids, Warren Buffett has kids. This is just if you wanted to be, business successful. It's like, okay, well then that can't be a reason that I can't be successful. And so whatever reasons that we usually give ourselves in the beginning for why we can't achieve something, you can almost always find not only just someone, but someone who's achieved world-class levels of success with worse conditions than you currently have, which then means it's absolutely possible. And then the only thing that it takes to get there is work. And so the world does not hate you. You're just not good at anything yet.
What I've learned very deeply over the years is that confidence is just truth. It's just being honest. And there's people who put on this false bravado of arrogance of being like You know, they were 5th place at the Olympia last year. Don't pick out whoever was 5th and pick on them, but someone not winning, like, I'm going to show up and I'm going to win this Olympia. I know it in my heart. It's like, you don't know that. You're lying. That's not confidence. It's just a lie.
What can you do with what you've got? What can you do? And I'd love to hear people overshooting. But don't trap yourself in a box where you're like, well, I'll be happy if I can do this. And the other part of this is, it's sort of like North Korea. There's people that are trapped in a paradigm in their head of the world. They think that the world is this thing that they live in. They think that the world is this small place, the people that they know, right, and the atmosphere that they live inside. And it's really, really small. And I think to myself, man, you got to get out.
It's warm on the couch. Your missus says stay in bed. It's comfy, it's cozy. You've got work later on. You had an argument last night. You're slightly hungover.
Because I know every motherfucker ain't gonna do what I'm gonna do. So this is how you level up. That's how you level up. I know there's a whole bunch of people with that right there. That fires me up. That makes me fucking happy what you just said.
You can't change what you can't change. Stop trying to change the situation. It's not yours to change. Stop trying to change your wife. Stop trying to change your husband. Stop trying to change your kids. Stop trying to change your boss. Stop trying to change the program. If you could change it, it would be changed. There's only one person you can change, baby, and that person's hard, and that person is you. Work on yourself. Because watch what's gonna happen. One day, E.T. gonna wake up, yup, and he ain't gonna be homeless no more. Yup, one day E.T. gonna wake up and he ain't gonna be no high school dropout no more. Yup, one day I'm gonna wake up and be exactly where I wanna be. But the question is, when you so focused on change, you so focused on change that what you don't get is that once things change for you, if you don't change, you're gonna take it back to what it was anyway. Are you hearing me? So you better, what you can work on is you. And so you better get you together. You better work on you and get you right.
And when it's a blessing, you can't help but to give everything you got to it. My life got saved. I got spared my life. Almost died. The doctor came to me on the field. He was on one knee and he grabbed my wrist and he said, son, you don't have a pulse. I don't even know how you're still living. The thing about it, my wound, like you can see this. You can see my arm. My wound is visible. But it's a lot of people in this room that are wounded and you can't see it. And my last doctor visit, they came to me and they said, sorry, Inky Johnson, you will never be able to use this arm or hand again in your life. I said, no disrespect to you, doc, but I will use this arm and this hand every day for the rest of my life by the way that I live my life. Every day I'm gonna impact someone's life. Every day I'm gonna empower someone. Every day I'm gonna inspire someone. Every day I'm gonna encourage someone.
Or somebody say, you can count on me, and they don't come through. What if we have that kind of attitude? The car's repossessed. Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
I would have none. I would have no success as a YouTuber that I've had being a podcaster because I work well when I have someone else in front of me. I would clean my room at home if mum came and sat and like just watch or talk to me, right? Because I just didn't want to fucking do something that sucked on my own. Being a YouTuber and staring down the lens, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna fucking do whatever we're gonna do. I really, really struggle with that. Sitting down with someone else in front of me. So there are ways that doing the thing can become more easy, but ultimately the work just needs doing.
Got it. Those I can't catch a break guys, yeah, get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't buy it. Because everybody has bad breaks. Yeah. I've had a ton of bad breaks, but you know what I did? I stayed up, yeah, and I thought through it, and I figured out what the fuck I did wrong, and then I went back. It's like I fucked up everything I've ever done 100 times. There's no other way to do it, and I've had a bunch of shitty breaks. Everybody has, but you got to realize when you have those shitty breaks what that is.
So sometimes when you think you're making the wrong decision, or you have to making the toughest decision because you're thinking about somebody else and the consequences. If you think the price of winning is too high, wait till you get the bill from regret. And that bill from regret is generational. And there's a lot of people listening to this that bill has been passed on from generation to generation, and you are holding that bill right now. And somebody in one of your generations has to pay that bill off in order for the generation to move on. And the only way that bill gets paid off is you got to be willing to make the hardest decisions.
Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that.
So we end up listening to our family and our immediate circle, our immediate network of people about what it actually takes. And what usually comes out of those conversations from the old people is, oh man, you can work as hard as you want, but the system's still going to be the system and you're not going to get ahead. They don't care about you, blah, 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 blah. And the reality is those people probably gave it their all for a little bit, 5-10 years maybe, but they didn't work on developing their skill set. They weren't intentional about becoming better. They believe that if they just show up and they give it their effort, that eventually things will materialize. And when those things don't materialize, they get bitter and they get pissed off and they start blaming other people. They blame their job, they blame their situation, they blame capitalism. They make up all these excuses as to why they're not getting where they want to get, when in reality, they're just missing part of the equation. And the reason that they don't know about the part of the equation about gaining skill as you put in the hard work is because nobody around them ever did that.
Boy, I can tell bad times are right around the corner again. I can tell by the emails I'm getting talking about I can't get a break in life. I hate that damn mentality about I can't get a break. You aren't giving any breaks in life. You make them for yourself. We are all being tested in life. While my test is different than yours, you will be tested. And how you face that test and how you overcome that test determines the rest of your life. The one mentality that you must have in life is that regardless of what's in front of you, you still must grind. I'll never be in the Olympics, I'll never be a professional athlete, but still I grind. I fail at most things I do, but still I grind. I don't want to do half the shit I do, but still I grind. And that one day, you see me down a dark alley, running at 1 o'clock in the morning, know one thing, I was grinding.
Put a schedule together and compress your meetings and your calls. See where you can save 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes. How can you move faster with more efficiency and maximum effectiveness? You save those 3 minutes, you save those 5 minutes, and those minutes add up.
If you take people, and I've told you this, and you expose them voluntarily to things that they are avoiding and are afraid of, that they know they need to overcome in order to meet their goals, their self-defined goals. If you can teach people to stand up in the face of the things they're afraid of, they get stronger. And you don't know what the upper limits to that are, because you might ask yourself, like, if for 10 years, if you didn't avoid doing what you knew you needed to do, by your own definitions, right, within the value structure that you've created to the degree that you've done that, what would you be like? Well,
you look around to see who can help you, and then you're like, fuck, it's me again. And I think getting comfortable with the idea that each of these things, kind of like Slumdog Millionaire, if you've seen that movie where I'll give you the TLDR. He goes through his entire life of randomness, and he gets on the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire version in India. And it has 12 questions to make $1 million. And from only 12 random experiences in his life that seemed meaningless at the time, was he able to answer all of the questions and then ultimately win. The skills that you develop along the way, like Steve Jobs learning calligraphy that then became Apple fonts that, transformed how we type. Those early days, that little trench winning in the weeds, oftentimes gives you these huge advantages later on because you have more context than anyone else. And so rather than lament them and hate the fact that you're going through it, remembering that these will be arrows that you put in the quiver that you're going to be using to slay the future bigger dragons. And so
we surround ourselves around people that make us feel great. They tell us what we want to hear. The second we put ourselves amongst the uncommon people, we don't like that feeling. That challenge and feeling of that person who's waking up at 3:30 in the morning and say, hey, put your shit on, we're going for a run. We don't like that challenge. We like that person who says, hey, man, I don't feel good today, man. And they say, oh, it's okay, brother. We'll take a day off, man. We'll get a pizza and shit, watch the game. We like that. We love that feeling. Why? Because you understand, man, we're good, bro. We don't want that motherfuckers like this. Hey, man, no, bro. Get your fucking shit on, man. Stop being a punk. We don't want that in our lives.
Get up! Act like you playing basketball. Act like you playing football. Compete! That's what bothers me. Many of y'all are not competing. I need effort. Compete! Go to class. I just left for school telling these kids, act like you playing football. Go in that doggone classroom. Compete! Many of you have lost your competitive edge. Get your competitive edge back. I'm not against no other motivational speaker. I'm just competitive. I want to see them keep up. Keep up. Let's go. Come on. You supposed to be the man? I know you can be the man for a month. Keep up. We doing this 365. We doing it 365. Keep up. We doing the next mixtape or next album come out. Come on. Where your albums at? I see people trying to do what CJ doing. I ain't seen nobody's blow up yet. Come on. We got another one coming. Come on. We got that dog.
I'd rather you hate me and get better than like me and stay the same. A lot of us are full of shit. I was one of those people back in the fucking day. And sometimes I'm still full of shit. We think that we're working our ass off, working hard. You know, we've been working out hard in the gym for a month, but we haven't seen any results. So we get all fucking down in poopy pants and shit. You study for 30 minutes for a fucking test, and you didn't do as well as you thought. What the fuck did you expect? You're not putting in the work. You have to do more. You gotta stop telling yourself that you're doing enough. In life, it's never enough until you feel this overwhelming feeling of shit, man. I'm outworking the crowd. I'm outworking everybody. I'm doing more. It's not until then, once you get there, that's when you fucking know you've done enough. Stay hard.
You can't do it. Don't put your limitations on me. I'm dead to your limitations. Your limitations don't exist in my world. Those are your limitations. Keep them. Go home, watch them on TV. Go home, read the newspaper about. Go home and look in the mirror. Go home, call your homeboy, and y'all talk about your limitations. I ain't got.
Now, I can give you recommendations on things to start. Start fucking documenting yourself in this process. Because if you do that, you'll be able to literally have documented proof of you changing your life, which later down the line will fucking help you tremendously, and you will be able to do the exact same as what I'm doing right now and help somebody else tremendously. It literally just comes down to, why are you doing this? How bad do you want it? What factors are driving you into making this change? As cringy as it sounds, bro, how bad do you want it?
The point is that there's some games you don't get to play unless you're all in. And the other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting, because
if everybody who was fucking way up here started up here, and you started with no legs, you had to grow fucking legs to even start walking, and then crawling, and then running, and then you start passing people with all this given to them. I had to use all this negative shit that was making me weak and horrible as a person. I had to use this as the power that now fueled me. I had to flip it on its head and say, hold up, this might be exactly what I need. The darkness is exactly what I need. It's how you look at your situation.
Work while you wait. Yup, I said it. For real, for real. You don't know how long it's gonna take, right? But if you stop now, if you quit now, the one thing I can tell you is, for certain, it's never gonna happen. So the first thing I need you to do is, like, you cannot stop. Okay, all right, rest if you must, but you cannot stop and question life. Like, you cannot stop and question your circumstance and situation, so much so that while you could be working, while you could be further along the road less traveled, you sitting there contemplating, like you're sitting there moaning about it. You're sitting there complaining about it. And I get it. I'm not minimizing your struggle. I get it. I understand. But you gotta work. You gotta work. Because what happens if you wake up 30 days later and you're there? What happens if you wake up 60 days later and the change is coming? You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna wake up 60 days later, 90 days later, and everything's gonna change but you. And you're gonna get the same results you got before it happened, because you're the exact same person. So work while you wait.
And I'm saying to you, what if all of us took that attitude after we face a rejection and a no, or we have a meeting and no one shows up? Life will yield to you. Now here's the next step. Repeat after me, please. It's possible. I can live my dream. It's necessary. I work on myself. Surround myself with winners. Become creative. It's me. I've got to make it happen. It's not over until I win.
It won't get harder. Like, this is the hardest part. And so if you can just make it through this, everything else is downhill. It's not that the things that the dragons are going to slay aren't going to get bigger. They are. But you become so much more equipped to slay them back. And you have so many more allies. You have people in the stands cheering for you. You have the audience. You have all of these other things that are behind you. But in the beginning, it's just you with a stick against a bear. And arguably, that fight is a harder fight to win than beating a dragon when you have a nuclear bomb and 6 nations behind you. And so it's not even like the size of the hardship, it's just also the resources and how few of them you have, and how so much of the beginning is literally burning the one thing you have, which is time. Because you have no leverage. You don't have the money to pay other people to help you. You don't have the resources to go get someone no one can learn it for you.
So just take action and start moving forward. And that is the moment that can last 1,000,000 years, is waiting to go. And I found I'm pretty good at it now, where I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that is, and I'm going, and then that's it. And once you go, driving, even speaking of being in combat, if we were driving to a target and so you're gonna go hit a target somewhere, and driving to the target, the closer you get, you're thinking about all the things that go wrong, all the bad things that are going to happen, all this stuff. When one of my guys gets wounded, what if they have IEDs in the yard? Like, there's a bunch of things going through your mind. Once you stop, get out of the vehicle, all those things go away. Yep. And you're doing the thing, and you're not worried about it anymore.
How are you gonna feel, man, when you accomplish this goal, coming from that shit? Coming from the fucking hell you came from. A lot of people start from a good starting point. They have a good foundation. What if you can surpass all of these motherfuckers?
Work on your focus. Perspective is everything. And let me tell you something. The problem with most of you is that you see difficult as something negative. For real. I want you to see difficult differently. Are you hearing me? I need you to see difficult differently. Now that weightlifter, when my man looking at those weights, when he got that iron is heavy. But he's not looking at that iron like, look how heavy the iron is. And he knows what it's gonna do. It's gonna tear his muscles to pieces. He gets it. But what he understands is that if he tears them down, they're gonna rebuild themselves. And when they rebuild themselves, they're that much stronger. Listen to me. The more you go through, the more difficult it is, the more challenging it is. Listen to me, the harder it is. Are you hearing me? The more challenging it is, all you're doing, baby, is building muscle.
Talent and skill set might betray you along the journey if they don't have a consistency of mindset and they don't have a certain level of fortitude in every fiber of their being. At a certain point, you can have a cat that's talented, or you can have a cat that has character, and you know what he's bringing to the table every single day. Right? You got cats that's talented that tap out. Like, anybody can go 1 or 2 down, right? Anybody can go 3 down. But it's very seldom that you find a cat, when he's standing in that tunnel till there's 4 zeros on that clock, he's gonna give you everything. That's a man to me, right? Most cats, little boys, right? They get what they want. I tell my son all the time, I'm like, Ink, it's a big difference between a hard worker and somebody that works hard.
No matter how hard you work, there is somebody on the inside of you that works even harder. He said, no matter how dedicated you are, there is somebody on the inside of you that's more dedicated. No matter how committed you are, there is somebody on the inside of you that's more committed. And you don't even know what commitment is yet. You think commitment is just saying, yes, I'll do it. But what commitment is staying true to what you said you were going to do long after the mood that you have set it in has left. Meaning on the days when you don't feel like doing what you said you will do, you get up and you do it anyway. That's what builds character. And he said, I need you to understand the concept that there's another person on the inside of you, because one day in your life you will face something that's a lot tougher than you, and your strength and your drive and your commitment and your work ethic won't do it. You have to realize that it's something on the inside of you that's greater than anything that life can throw at you, and immediately I got it. And so when my life changed, not only did my football career end, I got a paralyzed right arm and hand behind it. Life changed overnight. But I was extremely grateful for it, because the whole time I understood that you have to tap into in order to get through one of the darkest, toughest, roughest moments of your life. There's another person on the inside of you.
You know, you do your own thing, you know, especially when everyone else isn't doing it and they call you crazy, whatever else. Oh, you're in here and people driving by being like, what the fuck's that guy doing up so late? Well, what's up so late mean? I don't know. It's the moments in life, the decisions you make on a moment-to-moment basis that add up to be the guy or not the guy. Tonight, I did something, you know, that I feel more of a guy. For me, who I am, my guy. You know, repeat that over and over and over again.
Today is that day where we are taking action. We are taking that first step. And the first step of action is in the mental declaration. The moment we say it.
Like when you say something to the extent of, not you, but just a person, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'm like, who promised you that? Right? I'll get to it a month from now. I'm like, who promised you that? Right? Because life changes so quick, right? And as people, we're often arrogant. I was one of them. We live our lives and we feel as if we're promised something. Right? But when you think about it, it's like when we try to control things. But when you really think about the macro of life and the grand scheme of life, we really don't have any control, right? We can control what we possess, emotions, attitude, thought process, perspective, how we speak, how we respond. But just life in general, we have no control of that, right? You think about how many people woke up this morning.
Can you be committed to the process of what you're doing without being emotionally attached to the results of what you're doing? In other words, if you don't get what you thought you was gonna get, will you still be the same individual? If the situation don't turn out the way you thought it would turn out, will you still be the same individual? The quote says it, you judge the character of a man not by where he stands in times of comfort and convenience. You judge the character of a man by where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. Like, I don't care what a cat do when everything goes right. I don't, because everybody knows to smile. Everybody gonna celebrate when you win a game. Everybody gonna be in your corner and talking about how great you are.
Whether you like it or not, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, a lot of us are at war with ourselves. And within that war, you have several battles. Those battles are basically choices. No, I'm not talking about a war that you might find in the Coliseum. I'm talking about a war that's in your brain. That war exists because life has so many choices. Within those choices, you gotta make right decisions. But you know what? Fuck that. When the alarm goes off in the morning, you don't have to wake up. Don't wake up, don't worry about that. When you're in school, you know what? Fuck that, man. It's too hard to study, so don't study. You know what? Don't eat healthy, because you don't have to. So guess what? When you fail, don't blame your mom, don't blame your dad, don't blame teachers. The only person you have to blame is yourself.
When the hell have you ever tried something more than 10 times before you throw in the towel? I can't say I have. This guy did. And why? That was what he wanted. How was it nourished? Failure. Everything failed in his life. So when it failed the 1,000th time, it's like, fuck it, man. It's an average day. It always fails. I keep on going, but it eventually got smarter and quicker. That failure made it more and more successful. It was getting closer and closer and closer. And finally, the light bulb lit. That was Thomas Edison. Failure, dumbass, his entire life. Get over another 1,000 patents, man. Remarkable.
It's painful to understand how much of what you're doing isn't productive. So I'll give you an example. So I've done this a couple of times with classrooms full of students. Usually when I'm lecturing about career development, say, okay, how much time do you waste? So then I get the class to vote. How many of you waste 10 hours a day? It's like 10% of the kids will put up their hands. And it's interesting because I don't define what constitutes waste. I just ask the question. So they're diagnosing themselves, right? I'm not saying you're wasting 10 hours a day. I'm just asking. It's like, given your own attitude, how much time are you wasting? 10 hours a day. It's like 10% of the people put up their hands. Well, when you get to like 6 hours a day, 80% of the people put up their hands.
People look at champions and try and find something that that champion has that they don't have. And he's like, but it's not that at all. He's like, they lack something everyone else has, which is an off button. They just don't stop. And at the end of the day, like, if we're optimizing for outcomes, then the most broken person will win. The person who has the absolute biggest, desire for achievement, the absolute biggest fear or pain that they're running away from, and the hardest impulse control. Now, impulse control, most people would agree, is a good thing. The other two, not as much. And so What are we optimizing for? What problem are we solving? It's my favorite. It's probably the number one most frequently asked question that I ask to our portfolio companies whenever we're about to do anything, which is what problem are we solving? If the problem that we're solving is that I want to be content, well, there's a lot of ways to do that. And you don't need to do all these other things. If the problem you're solving is that you want to be the richest man in the world, well, you're going to have a lot of superiority complex. You're going to have a lot of crippling insecurity, and you're going to have a lot of impulse control, and you're going to have to wait a long time.
It can be so real that you're not going to understand. It can be so real, like you can't go to the Bible and get a verse for it. It can be so real. You can't go to the Quran. It can be so real. Like you can't go to the church house based on Catholic. Like it can be so real that you're not going to understand it. You just got to survive it, doc.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And by surviving it, the lessons come.
Mm-hmm.
The blessings come. The perspective comes. Most importantly and hopefully, the peace comes. Sometimes things are going to be so tough. Stop fighting it. Stop trying to understand it. Take all that energy and just survive it. Like, bro, day by day, moment by moment, situation by situation, like my dogs say, be where your feet are. Just survive it, right? And then you're going to get to a place, you're going to be on top of the mountain one day, and you're going to say, man, I see exactly why I had to face and go through that.
And so if you act that way, of course, the terror of realizing that is that it actually starts to matter what you do. And you might say, well, that's better than living a meaningless existence.
There's lots of people that work really hard digging ditches every day and that are digging ditches when they're 70 years old. There's lots of people who work really, really hard for a long time and never make it. And that's because working hard is just part of the puzzle. The other part of the puzzle is how high your skill set is, how developed your skill set is. And so we have these people that say these things like, work smart, not hard, all right? Well, you're a fucking moron, all right? I'm gonna tell you that right now, because it takes both. It takes hard work and it takes smart work. So while you have to be putting in the work and you have to be showing up and you have to be giving it all you have to consistently be aware and conscious of the intentional skill set that you are building along the way. If you do not have the skill set and you just work hard, you're going to get paid a fraction of what you could get paid if you actually intentionally built skills to go along with it.
Couldn't speak at 4. Was written out of class because couldn't read at 7. Kicked home saying mentally challenged. One of the greatest inventors of our time. We all fall down in life, guys. The question is, who gets back up? Again, it's not the potential of the individual. It's not the genetics. It's the perseverance. The never say die attitude. If you constantly keep throwing shit against the wall, eventually something will stick, guys. Never give in to what you want.
It's better for it to matter. But I mean, if you really asked yourself, would you be so sure if you had the choice? I can live with no responsibility whatsoever. The price I pay is that nothing matters. Or I can reverse it and everything matters. But I have to take the responsibility that's associated with that. It's not so obvious to me that people would take the meaningful path. You know, when you say, well, nihilists suffer dreadfully because there's no meaning in their life and they still suffer. Yeah, but the advantage is they have no responsibility. So that's the payoff, and I actually think that's the motivation. Say, well, I can't help being nihilistic. All my belief systems have collapsed. It's like, yeah, maybe. Maybe you've just allowed them to collapse because it's a hell of a lot easier than acting them out. And the price you pay is some meaningless suffering, but you can always whine about that and people will feel sorry for you, and you have the option of taking the pathway of the martyr, so that's a pretty good deal, all things considered.
Right? What's more important, what we acquire or who we become? Materialistic, superficial? It's cool, but the people that we become, the thoughts we think, the words we speak, that's something that's gonna travel with us forever, right? You can lose a car, get another one tomorrow. But the people that we become as a result of the processes that we lock into every single day for the things that we aspire to get or the people that we aspire to become, that takes real work, and we gotta be willing to do that.
You've hit the wall someplace, you've looked in the mirror too many times and haven't smiled. You want to change the situation, move from where you are. The journey is not easy. Before you start that journey mentally, you must fuel yourself with the right reasons, the right fuel to sustain the entire journey. Everyone's hot off the start, but after a month or so into it, or a couple weeks into it, with the wear and tear and the grind starts to hit you, you start losing focus on the horizon, do you not? You get caught away in the daily hiccups, the ups and downs, and the wear and tear. And you focus on the speed bumps, the daily activities, losing sight of the true purpose. When you lose sight of the purpose, you give too much value of what the pain is today. We always invest today.
right? Most cats are somebody that works hard. If the situation and the circumstance is what they want it to be, they're going to come out and they're going to act accordingly and they're going to give you everything they got. But a hard worker, regardless of situation, regardless of circumstance, regardless of what happened, I'm going to show up and I'm going to give everything I got to it because I'm working for something that's totally different.
Why do I think people are drawn to advice telling them to do hard things? Because I think any person, any human realizes that if you want some kind of a good outcome, you're going to have to work hard for it. And if you don't work hard for something, you're not going to get an outcome that's really worth much.
We have to reframe our thinking about these statements. It's not just hard work and it's not just smart work. It's both. And if you lack both, you're going to be paid very little. And if you have both, you're eventually going to be able to write your own check in life of where you want to go.
I don't need anything but breath in my body and life. And every day I wake up, I understand I got 2 children depending on me. I understand I got a wife depending on me. I understand I got a world that needs me. The reason I go at life with the passion and the zeal that I go at it with is because I understand every day of my life is somebody in the world that is dependent on me. It may not be you, and if it's just about you, you're in trouble because I'm telling you, you're gonna hit something in life that's a lot tougher than you, and it's gonna test your will and it's gonna test your heart. And if it's just about you and it's just about the product, it will crush you. Every day I get up, I understand it's somebody in the free world that's looking at me to see if I'm gonna keep going, and so I can't quit. And so I went back to school the next week after they had just saved my life. I was back in class. I had to learn how to write all over again, had to learn how to walk all over again, had to learn how to tie my shoe all over again, had to learn how to bathe all over again, had to learn how to live life all over again. Never one time did I say, let me go home, I need a break.
It's 44 degrees and it's nice and rainy outside, but no one cares about that. It's not about the rain. It's what the rain represents. Life is always giving you a test, trying to give you a way out, trying to give you an excuse not to show up. This is my excuse today. But guess what? You gotta have the mentality to show up every fucking day of your life, no matter what life throws at you. It's our responsibility to show up to the Coliseum of life.
Now jot this one down on time management. When should you start the day? As soon as you have it finished. If you've planned a good, productive day, now you start that day, you can't believe how much more valuable your time will be. Don't start the day until you have it finished. Now here's the next one. Don't start the week until you've had it finished. Now to lay out a week is a pretty good challenge. Next, don't start the month until you have it finished. The places to go and the people to see and the productivity and the sales and the customers and the development and all the rest of what you want to accomplish during the course of 30 days. Don't start the month till it's finished.
You just see where they're investing their time, and you can predict more accurately what their life is going to look like in a year based on what they're doing today. And it's a good thing, for us. It's hard for me not to put the business stuff into it, but a reminder that the life that I'm living today is a result of the work that I did 6 and 12 months ago. And so if you were to look at my calendar 6 and 12 months ago, then you might extrapolate out to what I'm doing today. But just like people want the immediate reward, they also see their current condition as a result of the behavior they're doing today, it's not at all. And so that's why I think having, in some ways, a very vivid imagination of, this is where I think the benefit of, quote, visualization comes into play. I don't see it as much as a benefit for I have to imagine this thing to happen, but I think it's more powerful to think, I'm doing this thing today and I'm imagining it happening. So it's an approximation of the feedback loop that you want to have, and so it helps you substitute and get through the period where nothing's actually happening.
If you live a pathological life, you pathologize your society. And if enough people do that, then it's hell, really. And you can read the Gulag Archipelago if you have the fortitude to do that, and you'll see exactly what hell is like. And then you can decide if that's a place you'd like to visit.
It's just, it's a better life. You feel more confident, you have a better sense of reality. The way you go about your day is in a more productive fashion. You're more goal-oriented. They all just synergetically go together into a movement, a force that's It's very unstoppable, man.
And so it's affected my mentality and my perspective just toward life, how I greet people, how I see people, how I interact, right? Just that one moment and one element of the injury, right? It's so many things that's happened inside of the injury that shaped and molded me as a person. People see the injury. People don't always think about the intricacies of how it shaped and molded and cultivated who I am as a man until this day.
And the next challenge, you're gonna be more prepared for. And the next challenge after that, you're gonna be even more prepared for. And you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna fail, and then you're gonna win.
It's all hard from here. 30 more steps. You keep going, Brock. Come on. Keep going. Burn. And let it burn. Burn. It's all hard. You keep going, Brock. Come on. Come on. Keep going. You promised me your best. Your best. Don't stop. Keep going. Too hard. It's not too hard. You keep going. Come on, Brock. Give me more. Give me more. Keep going. 20 more steps. 20 more. Keep going, Brock. Give me your best. Don't quit. No. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Brock Kelly, you don't quit. Keep going. Keep going. Go, Brock Kelly. You don't quit on me. No, you keep going. You keep going. Go, Brock. 10 more steps. 10 more. 10 more. 10 more. Keep going. Don't quit. Give me your heart. You can. You can. 5 more. 5 more. Come on, Brock. Come on. Don't quit.
That whispers in your fucking ear that says, get up, motherfucker. You're not fucking good enough. You gotta work fucking harder. You haven't put enough time in. It's that voice you want to run away from. It's that voice you don't want to fucking hear. But guess what? It's that voice you need to fucking listen to. Stay hard. Listen to the whisper.